You've been running 5 times a week, you've been doing yoga, and you've been doing Pilates, and you still haven't toned up and lost body fat and get really lean. Okay, you guys, in this video, we are going to be talking about fat loss for the short woman and why yoga, Pilates, and running isn't exactly effective for you. So. Okay. All right. Sometimes after a Pilates class, you're feeling yourself, you're feeling really good, you felt some burning, you were working hard, you got a little sweaty, you check yourself out in the mirror and you see a nice little ab pop, right? And you're like, oh, I feel good. I look good. I see this. I feel like I'm more toned. And by the way, I heard someone on the phone the other day describe exactly this. She was talking to her friend and they were clearly telling her Pilates wasn't that effective for building muscle. And she's on the phone like, but I feel like after class, I'm more toned. Creating tone happens through building muscle, and you don't build muscle in a single workout, okay? It takes time to build muscle. It takes certain training stimuli to build muscle, and it takes an effective routine to stimulate muscle growth. So you are not toned after one workout of Pilates. Even though you may feel like you are, it's more likely that you are feeling really good about yourself that day. Maybe you are at the exact point in your menstrual cycle where you are, tight, lean, you're not puffy, you're not carrying extra water anywhere. Maybe the lighting was really great. And again, the workout itself, maybe you just felt really good about the workout and you're feeling really good about yourself, and so you are reflecting that onto what you physically look like, which is great. That is amazing when exercise can do that for us. That's a huge reason why I continue to work out, is I love how exercise makes me feel regardless of what my body actually looks like on that day. Moving your body is amazing for mental health and physical performance, but not all movement, not all exercise, not all effort is the same as maximizing muscle growth and growing your muscles. It's exactly what you're looking for when you want to be toned and defined. You need a period of building muscle first. You can absolutely lose weight and not lose body fat and look like a smaller version of yourself without looking like tighter, leaner, more defined. That is the difference between weight loss and fat loss. And a lot of those cases, it's because the individual is not resistance training or hasn't been resistance training long enough or doesn't resistance train effectively. So while Pilates can definitely train your muscles in certain ways that are fine, especially if you're using the reformer, you are working your muscles at long muscle lengths. So think about whenever you do lunge work on the reformer, you do have tension and you are working in a stretched position. However, in a lot of these instances, you're not necessarily working through a full range of motion. So a full range of motion at your hip and your knee to stimulate proper muscle growth. You need to lengthen the muscles maximally at their joints to help the muscles grow. There is a ton of research on this. So if you are lunging and you are holding a lunge or you are moving minimally in a lunge, that is not great for muscle growth. It will burn. It's effort. It will hurt. You will feel like you're doing something, but it is not effective to grow the muscle. Same with the tension. The amount of tension in the load that you're placing on your muscles is very, very important. Typically, the optimal load to place on your muscle has you hitting near failure within somewhere around 6 to 30 repetitions. That means if you are performing a lunge, you would want to feel like you could not stand up or be close to that feeling of not being able to stand back up from a full depth lunge, somewhere in between 6 to 30 repetitions. So if that point for you is actually body weight or a little bit of resistance and you're hitting that before 30 reps, that's fine. If you are loading a ton of weight and you're hitting that around 6 reps, also fine. The thing is that again, with using the reformers, is that for your larger muscle groups, like your glutes, hamstrings, and quads, you are not applying enough tension to be close to mechanical failure within the rep range that we need. So another way of putting this is that sometimes you are working your muscles for endurance. You may be hitting failure, but you are hitting failure at high repetition ranges. So if you're performing an exercise continuously for like 60 seconds, let's say, depending on the exercise, you probably got in a good like 40, 50, 60 reps. That is more stimulating muscle endurance, and it is less stimulating the muscles to grow. And no, stimulating muscle endurance doesn't help you get longer, leaner muscles. It does not. Your muscle shape and the size and how it looks on your frame is all with genetics. It all has to do with the length of your bones, the length of your ligaments, literally what the muscle belly looks like. It will look different on everyone. Start to look at people's quads. Taller people tend to have a much longer, leaner looking quad because they tend to have long femurs. Their attachment sites are longer. Where you will notice shorter people like me, a lot of shorter people, their quads just kind of like boom, they stick out. My quads like stick out. They're not elongated. They're like concentrated. My femur is much shorter, and so the muscle belly is just like whoochoom. Obviously, some shorter people, they still have like a lean quad. It just depends on your genetics and your anthropometry. Abs. Yes, Pilates can help train your abs, but again, training your abs for muscle growth is different than training them for performance, than training them for general function, like to improve posture, to help you carry groceries, stuff like that. There are different exercises for different purposes. And training your abs still follows every other principle of training other muscle groups for growth. If you want more defined abs, you need to train them in full ranges of motion and focus on exercises you are able to add load to and make the exercise challenging for a shorter amount of time, for shorter rep ranges. Again, 6 to 30 rep ranges. So something like that might be ab crunches with the pulley, trying to be very close to failure within 12, 15, 20, 30 reps. If you can hit failure with those rope crunches, that's great. I love a good incline reverse crunch. I will hit failure at smaller rep ranges because the load is intense enough to hit failure. The ab crunch machine, sit-ups from a Bosu ball, decline sit-ups. These are all things that are helping you train your abs in flexion, full range of motion, where you can continue to apply load to make it harder. You don't want to focus on exercises like holding a plank for 90 seconds. That's not working your abs for growth. Okay, let's move on to cardio. Doing cardio every day may not be placing you in a calorie deficit. We need a calorie deficit to help us lose weight. Caveat, even if you are in the fat burning zone for cardio, doesn't mean that you are going to be in an energy deficit. Yes, you could be burning fat at that time, but it doesn't mean that whenever you put everything together, you are in a calorie deficit to see fat loss. You could be doing cardio every single day and eating back the calories that you expended from doing such cardio. Or maybe you are the type of person you are used to doing a lot of cardio because you've always enjoyed it. It makes you feel really good. That's great. But your body is probably adapted to that cardio stimulus. And so you would either have to do more to now push yourself in a deficit, which can be quite challenging. If you're already doing cardio every day, you're already running 20 miles a week, how are you going to fit in more cardio? If you are a shorty and you are wanting to tone up and lose fat, the things you need to keep in mind are resistance training, following a program that has you doing progressive overload, where you are increasing your intensity over the program cycle so that you are closer to failure, performing an exercise somewhere between the 6 to the 30 rep range. Making sure that you are performing exercises with full range of motion, and if you can't, over your program cycle, you are trying to perfect getting deeper and working through full range of motion before actually adding so much load to the exercise that you are doing like these reps. We don't want that. We don't want this. Okay? We want all the way down, press up. All the way down, press up. These kind of reps aren't going to help you. Not going to help you. Next thing, you want to make sure that you are in a calorie deficit. Cardio could help place you in a calorie deficit, but it doesn't automatically place you in a calorie deficit. If you are a person, you have been doing cardio this whole time, you've been pairing it with your Pilates and your yoga classes, you need to now do an intake of the cardio that you've been doing and ask yourself, can you now do more cardio? You need to think about how measurable your cardio is. So again, maybe you've been very sporadic. Maybe you've been doing some HIIT classes here and there because you've heard that it's burning fat. It does not mean you are in a calorie deficit, and you must be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. Now, because we want to lose fat, we don't want to lose just weight. You need to be resistance training as well. So you guys, if you are a shorty like me and you are under 5'5", I am hosting a free live masterclass July 22nd that will talk about exactly why your smaller frame is having a harder time with fat loss, why you may need a different approach than simply move more, eat less, and why we don't want to just tackle on crazy kill me cardio, how to work out efficiently for your body type so that you're building muscle, creating definition, and so that you can lean out. Oh, one more thing, I will also be giving attendees a free nutrition audit so you know exactly where you need to begin your journey. I have my website link down below, and if you head to the first page and you just scroll down, then there is a sign up form. Just type that in, send it over to me, and I'll be able to give you your invite. So I really hope to see some of you there, and hope you found this video helpful. I will see you in the next one.